Happy Monday, everybody. It's October 30th, and we are sprinting our way to the end of this year. I can't believe 2023 is almost done. I am wanting to talk about a very hot topic today. It is the number one question that I get asked on interviews with agents who are interested in either starting to sell life insurance, have dipped their toe in it a little bit with another company, and want to know what it's like to be on this team. If you're just now finding this channel, my name is Dana Neeson. I run a telesales team. We sell final expense insurance over the phone across 17 states. And my job is to help you have stronger, more sophisticated sales conversations. All right, the number one question that I get asked during interviews is, are your leads pre-qualified? And what exactly do we mean by pre-qualified? Well, here are some of these sub-questions that follow this statement. Do they know that we will be calling? Number two, did they actually request information on life insurance? And number three, are they wanting to talk to an agent? Okay, I'm going to break some of this stuff down. It's really important that before you decide to jump into telesales or sales in general, that you have the right expectation about what a lead is and what your role is as the agent. Now, to preface this, these questions and those who are asking them, it is not your fault that you're asking these questions. In fact, they're very good questions to ask. I mean, why wouldn't you think that people are filling out inquiries for life insurance and ready and willing to talk to an agent? I mean, that's probably one of the reasons that got you into the life insurance industry. It was the opportunity to talk to people all day long that are wanting to buy life insurance and they just need an agent to talk to, right? We have more leads than agents to take them. And of course, the whole premise of telesales is to call people who have requested information. So the idea of it seems really simple, and we are just providing them the information they requested, and hopefully they decide to do business with us. There are 6 things that you need to really understand and consider when deciding if telesales is right for you, or if telesales is right for you, to have at least the right expectation going into making phone calls. Number 1, the time frame from the inquiry to the time that you connect. If you don't catch them in the first 30 seconds to 5 minutes of the inquiry, the chances of you getting them on the phone diminish by 300%. And in fact, the chances of them picking up the phone at that point is going to be somewhere between the 8th and 12th follow-up attempt. So it is possible that someone inquired for information on life insurance on Monday, but they don't pick up the phone until a week from Monday, and then they act like they didn't do it because they were over it, or they said they didn't remember doing it, or they didn't do it because so much has gone by. It could have been a passive inquiry. They could have seen something, an ad pop up on their screen. They clicked for more information, and maybe their expectations was they were going to get a quote by email, right? Maybe they were going to have information sent to them in the mail. They don't necessarily know that an agent is going to be calling them. So your expectation has to match your customer's expectation. So the time frame from the inquiry to the time frame you reach them will immediately cause confusion and sales resistance. And it is your job to give them a reason to stay on the phone with you. All right, number 2, it is not unreasonable to think that people are filling out multiple forms on the internet, or they're sending out multiple direct mail cards, or they're making calls to more than one company, right? People price shop. They want to get lots of information to make their decision. So just because you get an exclusive lead from wherever you're contracted with does not make that lead exclusive, because there is no such thing as an exclusive lead. That is like sales 101. I can almost guarantee you that you aren't the first person they're going to speak with, and you certainly won't be the last. In fact, their phone is probably ringing from multiple life insurance agents on their multiple inquiries. So it actually makes more sense for you as an agent to find a lead source where you can get shared leads, where the inquiry is sent out to more than one agent, because they're going to get called by more than one agent anyway. So think about what's happening to these poor customers. They're filling out multiple lead forms. They're sending multiple postcards. They're making multiple calls. And now their phone is blowing up. And the last thing they want to do is to talk to another sales rep. Therefore, sales resistance is again high. You need to be the reason that they stay on the phone, not their inquiry. Number 3, the confusing messages that people see online. They'll see state-regulated burial insurance. They'll see government-assisted programs. They'll see your state can cover up to $20,000 for funeral expenses. There's all sorts of ads floating all over the place. And it is very possible that the customer thought it was something else, or that they thought it was free. It doesn't mean that that's what it said. Just because the customer's interpretation of the ad was X, it could have very easily been for Y. And to understand how to navigate through those misconceptions and to get people to lower their sales resistance. So they're waiting for you to tell them that's not what it is, so they can get you off the phone. Instead, you have to flip it on them. Oh yeah, of course. There's definitely ways where that's possible for the right person. I guess, would it be okay if I asked you just a few questions to see what you might be looking for, to see if that would even be appropriate for you? Who cares what the ad said? All you're trying to do is engage in a conversation. Okay. Number 4, if they're seeing ads for life insurance and they're inquiring for it, don't you also think they're seeing ads from other companies that are also trying to get them to inquire? So they could have filled out a very legitimate ad for you that said, seniors can qualify to get burial insurance programs to take care of their final expenses. And then 5 minutes later, they see seniors can get $250,000 of coverage for $15 a month, right? And then you call them and they're like, yeah, what's this ad? Guess what? It doesn't mean that's what they inquired on. It means that they're seeing so many things from so many different angles that you have to be like a ninja and be able to immediately react and respond and interject to anything that they tell you. And a lot of that comes from experience, but a lot of that comes from making sure that you don't just jump into something without having a mentor that can help guide you and make sure you're prepared to take every single thing that's going to come your way. Number 5, the reason that you're going to get a lot of sales resistance is because guess what, guys? Our seniors are not just getting calls about life insurance. Their phone is ringing off the hook for what? For Medicare, for car insurance, for discounted prescription drugs. What else? They're also getting calls for medical alert systems, reverse mortgages. I mean, people are trying to sell our seniors so many different things. Plus, there's also lots of scams going on for seniors. So if you already know in the back of your mind that our senior citizens are targeted, they are the highest targeted population for telemarketing scams, that they're just going to be open to taking a call from you. They don't know you. They are going to have their walls up because they think everybody is out to get them. And as long as you understand that, you need to go into these calls with immense empathy, dignity, grace, patience. They are not waiting by their phone, waiting for you to call them. In fact, it is the exact opposite. You are up against a mound, an insurmountable mountain of sales resistance, no matter how good the lead is. And you have to know that before you accept a job selling life insurance over the phone. Number 6, So they filled out a form online to get a quote. What is some of the things that they say when you call? Just send me a quote by mail. Just send it to me by email. They don't want to talk to you. So again, you have to give them a reason to stay on the phone with you. And that comes with a lot of sales skills that compound on each other, where you have to get really good at overcoming the first 30 seconds so you can have more conversations, because more conversations leads to more opportunity leads to more quotes leads to more sales, and so on and so forth. And it's a rinse and repeat every single day. So let's recap. Here's all the things you need to know about calling outbound internet leads. Number one, your time frame. Time frame from inquiry to the time you connect with them could have been so long that they forgot and they don't want to talk to you anymore. Two, multiple forms going to multiple agents. There's no such thing as an exclusive lead. Three, confusing messaging. State regulated this, government assisted that. They're very confused about what they inquired on a lot of times. Four, other ads that they're seeing for enormous amounts of coverage for very small monthly payments. It's your job to help them understand that, but you can't do that if you can't overcome the objection and get into a conversation. Number five, they're getting other calls from other sales agents about other products, Medicare, insurance, prescription drugs, alert systems, mortgage protection, and life insurance. Their phone is ringing off the hook all day long. Number six, they think they can just get their quotes in the mail or online. You have to be able to overcome that objection as well. That is everything you're up against when you decide to start dialing leads. Now, other things to consider. Number one, answer rates. You could have the best, highest intent, highest quality leads that exist, but overall, answer rates are generally low. And that is because of all the reasons I just listed. So if your answer rate is going to be 30 to 40%, best case scenario, and that's after calling multiple attempts over a long period of time, you need to have a volume of leads so that if you want to call 100 leads and you know you're only going to be able to talk to maybe 30 or 40 of them, then that means 30, 60, 90, 120, you better buy 350 to 400 leads if you want to talk to 100. Okay, so you have to think about that kind of stuff. Do you have the budget to get the highest intent outbound leads? I don't know, but volume is key. Number two, unless you want to spend $55 to $100 on an inbound call where someone is engaged, their intent is high, and they are wanting a quote for life insurance, you have to be okay with making 200 to 300 outbound dials a day through a list of leads to call. And if you're going to spend $55 to $100 on inbound leads, you better have a high close rate, because you are going to spend around $5,000 a month minimum to have the amount of conversations you need to have in order to get the sales for it to even make sense. I talk to a lot of people who are employees, right? They are W-2'd, they work with a captive agency, and they're fielding inbound calls all day long. Well, that company is investing millions of dollars in their own marketing in order to get their phone to ring. They don't need sales reps that are as good or as skilled as you have to be when you're an independent contractor. So that's why you're getting paid an hourly rate. That's why you're getting a low commission per sale, because in the world of being independent, the higher your percentages, the better you have to be. So oftentimes I'll tell people who are employees, they're saying, yeah, I'm getting 10, 15 inbound calls a day. I'm presenting to half of them. I'm closing 3 to 4 a day, but I'm not getting paid what I'm worth. I could do this independent and get way more. The reality is that is an incorrect perception, because it's not going to look the same. you're not going to be getting inbound calls all day long. What you have now, there's a reason that you're getting paid what you are, because the company is probably also invested for you to get all your state licensing. So you can field inbound calls all day long. There is very low sales resistance. You're following a basic script. You don't need to be a top 1% closer to be an employee fielding inbound calls from a captive life insurance agency. So if you want to make the transition from being an employee to being independent, making outbound calls, you have to increase your sales skills. You have to be a master at overcoming the first 30 seconds, because that's going to make or break the amount of opportunity you'll have for even a quote to even come out of your mouth. Okay, so we're not talking about sales skills today. We're not talking about overcoming the first 30 seconds or training on that. We're talking about your perception and your expectation about what a lead is if you're going to be calling life insurance over the phone, because it's not that. It is what I described before. And because of that, your skills need to be very, very good. Or you need to just have an infinite amount of money to where you can just invest in leads consistently, to where it allows you to practice so much to where you eventually just get good at it. But most people aren't like that. In conclusion, the secret to telesales are 4 things. You have to have a volume of leads, or you have to have a high budget to get high quality inbound leads. And in that case, you better have a high conversion rate. You need sales skills. You absolutely, without a doubt, cannot go into sales if you just have customer service experience and you do not plan to invest in yourself to get better. You're going to have a very, very hard time. Number 3, you need to be consistent. Part-time does not work. I don't care what anybody says, you will not be able to sell enough policies to overcome the inevitable, which is the chargebacks, the NTOs, the insufficient funds. It's too much. You have to be able to sell at a high volume to overcome the policies that are going to cancel. And the last one is your effort. You have to put in everything you have for every single client, no matter how many times you were told no earlier in that day or earlier in that week. I really hope that cleared up the question of, are our leads pre-qualified? I know for sure I've answered it in this video. And the faster that you can understand what a lead is, the better off you're going to be, because expectations is everything. Thanks for joining me, and I'll see you next time.